Previously on What's on the Wrist.
It's time for another giveaway. So let's cover the giveaway rules.
What's up, guys? Thank you to everyone who participated in the drawing for this watch box. So I put all of your names in these folded piece of papers here, and I'll throw them in the punch bowl, and we'll draw a random name. So before I do, let's pick a few names here. So let's see. The first one here is there's Sunny. Hi, Sunny. Let's see. And there is Robert Gordon. Hi, Robert. Mike Hahn. Hi, Mike. So I will now take all of these names right here, just so you guys know that all of you who participated are in this pile right here. So there you all go. We'll shuffle it up pretty decently there. Okay, now I think it's time for a drum roll. Sam, can we get a drum roll? I have your drumsticks right here. Thanks, buddy. And the watch box goes to Clefan. Congratulations, Clefan. And we will get this box off to you right away. And thank you again to everyone else who participated. And now let's get on with today's show. So we've been hearing a lot about the slow foot traffic in the boutiques of luxury watches. Yet the boutiques aren't closing down and in fact continue to expand. So how is that possible? Huh. What's up, guys? It's your boy Rich here, and we've been hearing a lot about the slow foot traffic in the boutiques that carry the high-end brands, especially during the holiday season, which is supposed to be the busiest time of year. Yet it's not. And because of the increased prices with these luxury Swiss watches, they are kind of sort of pushing us to the pre-owned and gray markets. Yet they continue with their expansions on the boutiques. So where is this revenue coming from to sustain these boutiques, especially with the stiff competition of the gray market? Some of you are aware that I have seller's remorse, where the only regret I have for selling any of my watches was when I sold my JLC le-coultre Reverso. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I still have that regret today. So I went poking to see what kind of deal I can get on a new Reverso from a boutique. I mean, this is supposed to be desperate times for the boutique, where I should be able to get a really sweet deal, right? Well, not in my case.
Including tax, $13.90. 13,900. Okay. Last price, 11,800.
That's the discount
memory.
So that Reverso goes for $12,700. But even after the boutique discount, that brought it down to roughly $11,000. That is still not a good deal, especially when I would later learn that I could get the same watch on the gray market for less than $7,000. I mean, that $5,000 difference is just too huge. Yes, we get papers whenever we buy our watches from an AD. So let's break down the value of papers, which I don't think is that big of a deal. If we were to send that Reverso in for servicing, minus any parts, it's going to cost us $630. But more interestingly is, whenever we get the watch back, we get a new 12-month manufacturer's warranty from that date. So every time we send that watch in for servicing, it comes back with a 12-month manufacturer's warranty. So that means I could send that watch in 8 times for repair and still pay less than what it would cost in a boutique. So what allows the boutique to let a customer go without at least making them a serious offer? Where is this revenue coming from that allows them to basically say, F you, take it or leave it? I think it would be reasonable to assume that the gray market must be the arch enemy of watch companies, when in fact they are not. They actually provide a nice revenue stream for the watch manufacturers. There are basically a couple of different sources that the gray market gets their watches from. One is directly from the manufacturer, minus papers, of course, and from authorized dealers, minus the papers, of course. So this revenue stream it really is helpful to the watch manufacturers. I mean, they will sell their watches sort of under the table to the gray market, and the authorized dealers do as well. And I think by now, because the watch companies do that themselves, they kind of sort of know that how is it possible that some of these brick and mortar authorized dealers are able to move their watches when they weren't able to do before. I think they kind of just look the other way, knowing because they do the same thing, but they can't do it with the papers because that can be traced back to the original source. It's also a better look for the brick and mortars than to carry the same watch for months or years just collecting dust, because it's all about perception. So I think this raises an interesting question. If a gray market dealer can sell a new Reverso for less than $7,000, that probably means that JLC sold it to them for around $4,000, because JLC is not going to do them 100% solid by selling them at cost. Everyone's going to have to make some money, and the gray market dealer is going to have to raise his prices as well. So that means that nearly $13,000 Reverso only costs less than $4,000 to manufacture. So does that make the Swiss watch industry greedy, or are they simply doing what all industries do with their high markups? And when I asked a sales lady if they sometimes sell their watches to the gray market, her response was, "I don't know what you're talking about." But when I turned the camera off and I asked her again, her response was, "We all have to do what we have to do." Though that is not a direct acknowledgement, it is a contrastingly different response than when the camera was on. These gray market and online stores have come a long way from around 10 years ago when they first started to emerge as a credible source. But even then, I was always skeptical, and I never would have considered myself buying a watch online. I mean, I would always tell myself, if I'm going to drop $5,000 on a watch, there's no way that I'm going to buy it unseen from an online store. But fast forward to today, and I have bought several watches online and have had nothing but positive experiences, all but one time. But the company was quick to resolve that. And I think that the watch companies realize that they can't stop this. So instead of trying to beat them, they're going to join them. And this is a healthy revenue stream for them and making their watches more visible. Would it be fair to assume that the watch companies would rather not have these online stores around? You know, I think the easy assumption would be yes, but I'm not so sure because they do provide higher visibility for them and a revenue stream. These gray market and online stores also provide the benefit to watch fans by giving them access to be able to afford higher end watches that they normally wouldn't be able to afford, and therefore introducing them to the brand. And these online stores is also making it possible for micro brands to exist. So I don't think there is anything wrong with the gray market or online stores. It just seems to be a win-win for everyone. There are always going to be some buyers that will only buy from an authorized dealer, regardless if they can easily afford to or they had to save up. They will not buy their watches from any other source. So hopefully for those buyers, they have a better understanding of why they're not getting the discount that they hope to when they look around and they see an empty store. And there are, of course, buyers who prefer to shop online. And hopefully for those shoppers, they've gained a little better understanding of how these gray market dealers source their watches. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you the next time. So we're supposed to get some pretty sweet deals, but not in my case. Probably because she's not a subscriber to this channel. So if a gray market dealer can sell a new Reverso for $400, well, that would be a really great deal. So that probably means that JLC sells them for. But it kind of reminds me of a Fitbit, but
I think it is size better.
Okay, let me see.
It's too small.
So this is the next size up.
Yes.